Welcome to rSlash Am I the Butthole, where OP catches a friend stealing a $1,000 camera red-handed. Am I the butthole for filing a police report on a good friend who was caught on video stealing my boyfriend's camera at a dinner? She's refused to help me either replace it in full or contribute to the cost of replacing it. We were out to dinner one night at an expensive hotel. My boyfriend let me borrow his Canon G7X camera to bring to take pictures with my friends. For context, these things appear to be maybe $1,500 new, maybe as low as $1,000. At the conclusion of the dinner, I went up to my room and realized the camera was gone. I went right back down to the table and no one had seen it. I immediately got with hotel security, and my friend's on video, clear as day, swiping the camera when my back was turned and shoving it in her purse. I covered for her initially with my friend and contacted her to find a resolution. She had taken the camera with her and my other friends to a club after dinner, which I did not attend, and she lost it there. For background, the camera thief is a good college friend whom I know well. She's been taken on free trips to Coachella and St. Barth's on my dime, not kidding, as well as many other things. We've done a lot together and we're good friends, so I expected her to feel sorry. Initially, she lied, saying she didn't have it. When I told her we had video, she confessed and said yes, she took it, but she lost it at the next bar she went to with my other friends. It is now gone. I asked her to help me replace it by going in on me with the cost. She's refused all resolutions, and now I feel like I have nothing left to do but file a police report and let them handle it. It's impacting my relationship, and I'm furious my friend isn't helping at all. Why should I be on the hook for something she stole? I've given her 3 weeks to help me resolve this, but she insists that she's going to do nothing. I'm being pressed by my boyfriend to either replace the camera or help him file a report with her info and footage. I even asked her to just throw in half or even less than half the cost to help, but she still refuses. I don't want to get her in trouble, but I'm at the point where I feel she really doesn't care. Then OP posts some updates. I sent her a text this morning telling her that if I don't receive the full cost of the camera or shipping confirmation of a new camera from an approved vendor to a provided address by the end of Friday, then we'll be filing a report with the police Saturday morning. I felt like a butthole typing this out to her, but I have to do it. She told me that she's sick of me and that I'll be receiving a tracking number and not to blame her if the package is never received. I told her that if she was my real friend, she would be sorry, and in no way will I allow this to be flipped on me. She sent me a tracking number via FedEx. It says that it's a waiting package. I've asked her repeatedly if she's sending me the original camera, assuming it magically turned up, or if it's a new one. She refuses to answer and only tells me to stop bothering her. I'm now more and more convinced that my friend took the camera hoping that I would just replace it for my boyfriend, gifting her a free camera. For background, this friend is heavily involved on Instagram and loves taking pictures. The Canon G7 is coveted by women because it's known as the Instagram camera. Even if you wanted to buy one at full price, they're out of stock everywhere. OP, you are such a pushover. I actually am going to give you a butthole score because you dragged your feet when it's clear as day that your friend stole this intentionally and maliciously. And you're like, excuse me, did you steal my camera? I would really like it back, please. Oh, you did steal it? Could you please give me a new one at your earliest convenience? I'll even pay for part of it, sweetie, because I value our friendship so much. Man, come on, grow a spine, OP. Your cowardice means you're choosing your thieving friend over your boyfriend who trusted you. So yeah, I'm giving you 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving the thief also 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for not answering the door when my ex's mom showed up at my apartment unannounced? I have sole custody of my children. My ex and his family live about a 9-hour drive from me. One day, at around 9 a.m., there was knocking on my bedroom window. I peeked through the bottom of the blinds and just see a woman's sneakers. So I peek higher and make eye contact with my ex's mom. All I can think is, WTF? The apartments where I live are not gated, so anybody can drive onto the property. Just they can't go into the buildings without a key, which means my ex's mom couldn't knock on my door because she couldn't enter my building. Anyway, now that she's seen me, I change and go see why she's there. The only reason why she had my address is because a few months back, she asked to mail some stuff for the kids, and I dumbly gave her my address. She tells me she was in the neighborhood. I asked her why she didn't call me before arriving, and she said that it was a last-minute decision. I let her in and she sees the kids for a bit. When she leaves, I tell her next time she needs to give me a heads up before arriving, and I'm not talking 10 minutes before. I need at least a 1-week notice. So this is where I might be the butthole. About 4 months later, she pulls this stunt again. When I hear the tapping on the window, I know exactly who it is. I don't bother looking out the window. She starts calling me. After the 5th call, I answer. She tells me to open up because she wants to see the kids. I'm like, what? I'm not even home. Why didn't she tell me she was coming? I'm 45 minutes away visiting my dad with the kids. She demands my dad's address. I refuse to give it to her. I tell her I have no idea when I'll be home. Yeah, that's a complete lie. Anyways, she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm home. Again, says that it was a last-minute decision. I hang up on her, and I'm getting texts from my ex demanding that I let his mom see the kids. I tell him what I told her, that I'm not home. Imagine my surprise when I hear the police banging on my door a few minutes later. I don't answer. I get a call from a random number, the police officer. He's there to perform a wellness check because the ex's mom hasn't heard from me in 3 days and she's extremely worried. Also, according to him, it's illegal not to answer the door when a police officer knocks. I tell him she's lying. I just spoke to her on the phone and she showed up unannounced. I made it clear to her not to do that, and I'm out with family, and I don't need to come back just because she showed up unannounced. She's my ex's mom, and I don't have to talk to her. After that phone call, I get a text from my ex calling me a butthole and how hard would it have been to let his mom see the kids when she drove all the way there just to see them. I want to make it clear, I don't mind her visiting, I don't mind her being around my kids, but I can't stand her showing up unannounced and demanding to see my kids like that. It's like she was on a weird power trip. Opie, honestly, I'm surprised you say you don't mind her visiting because after someone calls the cops on me for not letting them into the house, that'd be the last time I ever talk to that person again. Also, this whole thing about you have to answer the door when a cop knocks is total BS. I mean, I guess it depends on where you live, but in the US, that's complete BS. One of my pet peeves, you see it all the time on TV, like drama shows and movies, is someone will be in some horrible situation, like they will have just committed murder and there will be a body on the floor and someone will knock on the front door and they'll be like, 1 minute, and they hide the body and they, in a fluster, go to answer the door. Fuck that, just don't open the door. You don't have to open a door just because someone knocks, even if it's the police. It's one of those things where like once you notice it on TV, you can't stop noticing it. Anyways, OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving the ex's mom 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. Using the cops against you to get her way is a crazy power trip. Am I the butthole for refusing to drive my friend to class every morning after he sold his car to buy EDC tickets? My friend and I go to the same university, but we live in different neighborhoods about 30 minutes apart. Up until recently, we both drove ourselves. Last month, my friend decided to sell his car to buy EDC tickets and some merch for his favorite DJ. I thought it was kind of impulsive, but it's his money though. This week, he started asking me to drive him to class every morning. And I didn't mind giving him a ride once or twice when it was on the way, but then it turned into an everyday expectation. My friend calls me every night to make sure I'm still picking him up. And last night he called me again, and I hesitated. He said, well, you're driving there anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But here's the thing, picking up my friend isn't just a small detour. It adds about an hour to my round trip, and I end up rushing to find parking and settle before class. Also, he's not sharing money for gas. So I told him directly that I can't be his daily driver, especially since I have my own schedule and part-time job to juggle. My friend just kept saying, that's not cool, bro, not cool. I reminded him that selling his car and buying concert tickets was also not cool if you can't afford it. It's not my responsibility to cover for it. Then he cut off the call while I was still talking to him. I don't think it's wrong on my side, but I want him to be responsible and not use me as his daily driver. OP, my friend, you are a real pushover. The fact that you're even doing this means you're a pushover. The fact that you are posting on Reddit about this very cut and dry story means you're even more of a pushover. Please grow a pair of testicles and stand up for yourself. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your friend 1 out of 5 buttholes. I'm also gonna give him 2 out of 5 on the moron scale because selling your car for tickets is pretty brain dead. Am I the butthole for not wanting our friend to ever come back to our house after he ate literally everything we owned? My husband and I live abroad. Earlier this year, a mutual acquaintance, Kevin, reached out saying that he'd been scammed with an apartment rental and he had nowhere to stay. At first, we only offered a weekend, but he was polite, helped around the house, and seemed grateful, so we ended up letting him stay the full 20 days that he had asked for. During that time, some things rubbed us the wrong way. He never bought groceries, and multiple times he pretended he was going to pay but forgot his wallet or claimed he could only use Apple Pay, which was not accepted at our local supermarket. He'd eat way more than his share. Once, my husband and I shared half a pizza, and he ate 1.5 pizzas without contributing. Still, we felt bad for him, so we let it go. We stayed friendly, and a few months later, we were planning a 17-day trip. Since he was struggling with rent, we offered him to stay at our place in exchange for taking care of our dog. I even wrote a Google Doc with instructions for the house, dog care, gym access, etc. I told him he could eat anything that was going to expire, fruit, veggies, yogurt, etc. When we came back, everything was gone, and I mean everything. The entire fridge, freezer, pantry. He finished 2 jars of jam, a jar of peanut butter, a giant Costco bottle of olive oil, condiments, rice, snacks, cheese, even my husband's supplements, creatine, protein, and collagen. He completely destroyed a ceramic pan. He consumed things that usually last us 6 months in just 2 weeks. I honestly suspect that he might have taken stuff with him because it's insane how much was missing. I didn't confront him except to ask him to replace the pan, which he mocked me about. It's just a pan. Why are you making it a big deal? I felt deeply disrespected. Now he keeps texting me, acting like nothing happened, and wants to hang out. I told my husband I don't want him in our home ever again. My husband says I'm being too harsh, and if he wants to stay friends, that's his choice, but I feel completely taken advantage of and disrespected. So, am I the butthole for not wanting to see this guy ever again and refusing to let him come back into our house? There is no way that a guy ate an entire Costco bottle of olive oil in 17 days. There's no way. It's impossible. This guy didn't eat all your food. This guy just loaded every single edible item he had into his car and is storing it somewhere, probably for when he gets his next apartment. This is more than pure selfishness. The guy straight up stole all your food. OP, I would check around the rest of the house as well, especially like your jewelry box, because I wouldn't be surprised if he stole other stuff as well. He's not a friend, he's just a thief. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving this guy 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Also, I'm giving your husband 1 out of 5 buttholes because if someone makes your partner uncomfortable and your partner doesn't want that person around in their house, then you should support your partner. Am I the butthole for not wanting my boyfriend to factor my son's survivor benefits into our new household budget? I'm a 38-year-old woman, and my 15-year-old son receives $1,100 a month in Social Security survivor benefits from his late father, who passed away when my son was 5. Me and my boyfriend, who's 40, have been in an on-again, off-again relationship for a long time. Things have been good recently, and he proposed. We're planning on getting a house together. I have my son, and he has 3 children, but only one of his kids would be living with us full-time. The house we're looking at is $2,500 a month. My boyfriend's proposed budget is for him to pay $950, for me to pay $950, and for us to use $600 from my son's check for the household. He suggests we can then put the remaining $500 from the check into savings. My current practice is to give my son half of his check, $550, for his personal use and save the other half for him. I think that since he's almost 17, he should have some control over his money. My boyfriend disagrees completely. He thinks that since we're going to be family, all the money should be pooled together for shared expenses. He thinks I'm wrong and selfish for not wanting to include the survivor benefits into the main budget. We've been going back and forth on this, and I'm feeling incredibly uncomfortable with his expectation. I feel like the benefits are my son's and should not be used to reduce the adult's portion of the bills. I feel like my boyfriend is trying to make me subsidize the household using money that was meant for my son's care and future, not to pay his own share of the bills. Am I wrong here? Is it selfish to keep my son's check separate and manage it for his benefit alone? Or is my boyfriend's financial expectation a red flag for our future together? Quite interesting that your boyfriend expects your son to chip in $500, but his kid apparently doesn't have to chip in anything. This isn't just a red flag, it's straight up theft. It's stealing from a child who lost his dad, by the way. Disgusting behavior. You should not stay with this guy. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your boyfriend 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole? And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.